And good morning at 7:04 on this Friday, September 6th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are on a Friday morning. The sun is shining, and it's going to be a fantastic day. Thanks for joining us. And we welcome our friends from Wilson Bank and Trust this morning. We actually have two with us today. Wes Taylor, I'm going to introduce you first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you today. Good to see you again, of course.
Thank you, Coleman.
Wes is Senior Vice President, Consumer and Small Business Lending, and you've brought one of the people you work with today.
Yes, sir. So my job is kind of overseeing the mortgage division of the bank, as well as consumer lending, like if you want to build a house, construction loans, car loans, those type things, and small business loans. And we are glad this morning to have Amanda Corley with us. She'll tell you a little bit about herself, I'm sure, in a minute, but hails from this area and has 20 years of professional experience in the mortgage industry and does a tremendous job. Just excited to have her on the team, and it's a great thing.
Well, we were talking about rates and,
yes, sir,
and the possibility that the Fed may change things in a couple of weeks. You kind of think they'll do something, don't you?
I believe they will, yeah. You know, we are starting to see on mortgage rates start to dip just a hair, not a lot yet, but we do see the Fed potentially taking some action in a couple of weeks, and hopefully that'll help them trail down and help more people be able to get into homes. That's the goal.
The idea is that rates would be a little bit less, a little lower.
Yes, sir.
And more affordable.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what a lot of people are hoping for, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
As a banker, does that really benefit you?
It does. I mean, the mortgage industry for the past couple years with the rates as high as they've been, it's slowed a little bit, obviously. So our goal as bankers is always to help people just meet their dreams and get into a home. And as y'all know, when rates have been in the sevens, last couple of years, well, it makes it hard for affordability purposes, especially when you think of first-time home buyers coming into the market. Totally different than when I bought my first home, 15 years ago. So rates coming down, I think it's good for everybody, really. So
what's that saying? The rising tide raises all ships.
100%.
Or in this case, it lowers the lower rate's going to help everybody.
I couldn't say it better, Carl. Right. That's right. Yep.
Well, let's talk to Amanda for a minute. Amanda Corley, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell us about your banking career.
Well, originally I'm from Watertown, so I'm a home girl. However, I'm now doing banking. Been in banking for about 20 years, a little bit more than that, 21 years, since 2003. Started out as a loan processor, worked my way through the ranks, and now I'm a loan officer for Wilson Bank and Trust.
Have you been at Wilson Bank and Trust most of those years, all of those?
No, sir. I'm actually new to Wilson Bank and Trust.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My family's not new to them. They're our hometown folks, but I'm new to being an employee.
What got you into the banking business? Anything particular?
This is funny, but my church choir.
Oh.
Actually, they did. I was at church choir practice, and one of the girls there had an opening and spoke with me. She thought I'd be good in sales and with people, and here I am, 21 years later.
So making loans is what you do day in, day out at Wilson Bank? I
do. I do primarily new construction. However, we can do refinances as well.
To go through the loan process. I mean, everybody. You can't say yes to everybody, though I know you try. But to help somebody that is they need to borrow money, you help them through the process, and you're helping them get along in life. So it's got to be rewarding in that way, I would think.
Oh, very much. When somebody comes and they want to buy that new house, they don't understand that it can really be a reality. It's our job to make it a reality for them.
And sometimes maybe you can't, you have to modify or adjust things a little bit so that you can get a loan that meets where the requirements are met and that will satisfy the need. So you're working kind of in two ways sometimes.
That's right? Very true. That's very true. We have programs available for folks in every financial situation, and we will do everything in our power to make that loan work for them.
Well, Wes, you probably always glad to have somebody like Amanda, who is very interested. And I think that's pretty much the whole idea of the bank, to do the best you can for the customer. you've lent people money since 1987. Somebody has. You haven't been there that long.
Yeah, been 24 of those years, so not quite 87, but getting there. So,
Well, we got about a minute left. Anything else you want to say this morning?
No. We just appreciate the opportunity to be here and on your show, and again, just really wanted to bring Amanda in, just to introduce her, and a lot of folks around here will know her name, and excited about what she brings to the table for the bank. And just as rates hopefully continue to fall, hey, we're looking forward just to serving our customers and helping in any way we can.
Well, Amanda, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Amanda Corday, along with Wes Taylor, and it is Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're 10 minutes after 7 o'clock, and here on this Friday morning, my guest is Ryan Bennett, who is a minister at the First United Methodist Church in Lebanon, but he's here this morning for another reason. But preacher, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's nice to have you with us today, and we want Tyler to join us. Tyler's your son, who has accompanied you this morning, and we're going to let him share a little bit with us today. Tyler, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you with us. I did not know this about, and I knew about the iron skillet thing. You've been out here a time or two, and we've talked about iron skillet.
That's right.
But I did not know you were such a baseball fan till Susie told me probably a month ago and suggested I have you out. Not only we could, she suggested what a baseball fan you were, and that might be a good thing to do. So that's why you're here this morning.
I'm excited to be here, and I know you're a big baseball fan too, Coleman.
Yeah, and you're the Braves is your team, I understand.
That's correct.
And they're doing better than the Reds, but it's questionable whether they're going to make the playoffs. Probably will, and it's anybody that would suggest that the Reds are going to be there, you'd probably say, well, you better think again. If they win all 21 of the games they got left, they might make it.
Yeah, the Braves got hit by the injury bug this year. We've got our injury list is an all-star team.
Well, let's talk about Tyler for a moment here. I understand you play baseball, right?
Yes.
At Lebanon High?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just a little closer to the mic there, or talk a little bit louder. What? We want you to get out here. What year are you in school?
I'm in ninth grade.
Okay, so you're just getting started.
Yes.
Right. What position you play?
Outfield and pitcher.
Oh, okay. Are you a righty? Throw right-handed?
Yes, right-handed.
Bat right-handed? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, is this maybe your favorite sport, baseball?
Yes, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly wish you well. Have you had some experience playing otherwise, either Babe Ruth, Little League, or travel ball, or any of that?
Well, I didn't start playing until like sixth grade, so still kind of like newer to it, but I've been practicing a lot, so yes, good.
Okay.
He's played at Lebanon Youth Baseball and played some travel ball too. So
yeah, well, it's a great game.
Yes.
And if you're not good at one part, maybe you'd be good at another. You have defense and offense both, and even have people who run the bases well. Are you pretty fast? You like to steal bases?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. What about him, Ryan? Give us a scouting report.
he's got a good arm. But as I like to tell him, I said nobody cares how hard you throw ball four. So we got to get him around the plate. And but he's got a lot of potential, I think, on the mound.
I have never heard that said that way before. I love that. Nobody cares how hard you throw ball four. That's true.
That is true.
What got you to be a Braves fan?
Oh, I went to my first Braves game when I was 3 years old, and probably about 1975, and just been a fan ever since. It got me hooked, and baseball is my first love, and I've just loved it ever since.
Well, I understand that you and Tyler saw the Braves and the Reds in a game recently.
We did. We try to go down. We're obviously Braves fans, but we appreciate talent, so we like to go down and see some of the young stars playing, and the Reds have one of the best young players in the game in Ellie De La Cruz.
Do you like him, Tyler?
Yes.
Yeah. he is fast.
He is.
And has stolen way more bases than anybody else, I guess, in baseball and for sure in the National League this season. He's not missing strike three as much as he did. He struck out an awful lot when he first came up.
They all do.
You throw him a low ball on strike three, and he would swing and miss it nearly every time. And I've noticed he's a little better. And I think he's batting around 270. It used to be, if you could, we judged our batters. If you hit 300 or better, you were a good batter. But if you were under 300, you a little bit subpar even. Now, if you're hitting 275 or even 270, you're a pretty good hitter.
Yeah, they don't. The way they measure success is not the way when we were younger. It's now about exit velocity and launch angle and slugging percentage. Those are the things that they look at now.
Okay, it is 7:15 and time for us to take a break, and we will be back with more in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. The fire department's on the scene of an accident with injuries at Donaldson Pike at Murfreesboro Pike, right at that intersection. It's tied up pretty good right now because of that crash. Armory Drive, right at the interstate, that appeared to be a minor accident. It's trying its best to build here on 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. There's still some volume 24 coming out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, up through the Antioch area. Whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, anything to do with the roof, independent roofing specialist, they've got you covered. IRSroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Join us Saturday, September 14th for the 21st annual Sherry's Run 5K Run Walk to benefit Sherry's Hope. The event starts at 8 a.m. at 623 West Main Street in Lebanon. Come run or walk and give hope to families in our community who are battling cancer. Enjoy a silent auction, live music, and more. Register now at sherrysrun.org and make plans to join us Saturday, September 14th for the Sherry's Run 5K Run Walk to benefit Sherry's Hope.
Call me. If you're looking for land to build a home, call me.
Call me if you want to put your home on the market.
Call me if you're ready to buy your next home, or if you're a first-time home buyer, call me.
Call me if you would like to know how much your home is worth. Call me, and don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty, C&D Team, 443-3130.
We continue here on a Friday morning. Ryan Bennett is my guest, along with Tyler, his son, and we're talking baseball, believe it or not, this morning. Although, you being a minister, there are a lot of things that you're concerned with as far as church goes, and no doubt there are people you counsel and help through problems, and it can be stressful, no doubt, at times. Baseball is probably something to get your mind off yours and other people's problems and just relax a little bit.
It is. It's my release, and just about every night you'll find me watching the Braves. There are 162 games, and at least 140 or 50 of them I'm in front of the TV watching them, and I've got a couple of other preacher friends of mine that are Braves fans, and we're watching it and texting back and forth and keeping track of the game.
Well, we mentioned something a while ago, and I want to ask you about this, and that's injuries. It just seems like there are more baseball injuries today than there used to be, and I mean, a pitcher goes 100 pitches now, they're ready to yank him, even if he's got a no-hitter going, and that's even happened a time or two this year. But as far as the injuries go, what's your take on that? Why are we seeing so many?
Yeah, well, I think these guys are bigger and stronger than they've ever been. They're on, weight training programs. They're building up bulk and muscle like they have, and they're just bigger and stronger and faster, and they play the game faster. And when you play the game faster, it takes its toll. And like pitching just the other night, Ben Joyce, who's former UT Vol, who's the closer now for the Los Angeles Angels, He threw the hardest strikeout pitch ever recorded, 106 miles an hour.
Wow!
So I mean, just it just takes its toll. The torque that's putting on their arms, and just velocity is king for pitchers, and so they feel like they have to keep up. The Greg Maddixes of the world are no more. Where you locate
but we have injuries to a lot of other players too, and maybe part of it is how fast and how hard they play and don't worry about taking care of themselves.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know, the Braves reigning MVP, Ronald Acuna Jr., he's torn his ACL twice, and both of them were on baseball plays, one in the outfield and one running the bases, and they just, it takes a toll on their body.
You want to make a prediction who's going to be in the World Series this year?
Well, in the American League, I think it comes down to the old guard, which is the Houston Astros. They've been around, for a while. They won a couple of World Series championships in the last 7 or 8 years, and they're still up there. And then the new guard, and I think the Baltimore Orioles have a lot of young talent. So I see them in the ALCS. And the NLCS, I want to say my Braves still have a shot because we got pitching, and I think if you got good pitching, you can go. We got to get in. The Dodgers are obviously there and a good team, and then as much as I hate to say it, the Philadelphia Phillies are good, and I'm not a Phillies fan at all. I have some choice words I could say about them, but I won't. but they're good, and so we'll see what happens.
Well, you wouldn't remember this, but I remember in 1950 they played the Yankees in the World Series, the Phillies, and they had Robin Roberts and Kurt. What's his last name? I was thinking of it the other day. Anyway, two pitchers who were pretty good. And Richie Ashburn, I believe, was on that team, too. It was a real good hitting outfielder, and they called them the Whiz Kids. But I think they lost all 4 games to the Yankees. They had Casey Stengel as their manager, and the 50s Yankees were something else. You missed that, I guess.
Well, but I mean, even still today, I refer to the Yankees as the evil empire. So,
what about the baseball itself has changed the way it's played, but the designated hitter came along. American League had that for a long time before the National League. Well, I think it must have been decreed from the top, but whatever happened, the National League had to go with a designated hitter. Now, I think most colleges were already doing that, and maybe it's a good thing, but it's been hard for me to accept.
Yeah, I mean, pitchers began working less and less on hitting and more on their craft, and so hitting went down the days of the Greg Maddixes and Tom Glavine and John Smoltz of the 90s. They took pride in hitting. They really wanted to be able to be good hitters and were good hitters. And even, the Braves now have a pitcher, Max Fried, who's a pretty good hitter as well. But most of them is just an automatic out through the lineup. And, the players wanted to have another spot on the roster that was opened up for people to make a high salary, and so they negotiated that in.
Yeah, I understand that, but still, I always admired a pitcher who could come up there, and if you needed a sacrifice bunt, he knew how to bunt that ball, move that runner from first to second, get him in scoring position. Now, that's just... You don't hardly do that anymore.
Well, and having the pitchers hitting creates a lot of strategy at the end of the game for the managers of double switches and, those kind of things to keep the pitchers out from hitting in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. And so some of that strategy's gone too.
Would you like to have you ever managed a baseball team?
Well, I've coached Tyler over at Lebanon Youth Baseball some. So.
Did you make a lot of decisions as to? Or did you have a manager did that?
I've assisted others, but a lot of times I'll take care of the pitchers, and so I'll make kind of the decisions around the pitching staffs and those kind of things, and that's always fun for me. I'm an old lefty pitcher.
How early do you think a young boy should start throwing a curveball? When you do that, to throw the curve, you've got to hold your hand a little bit different. There's some pressure on your arm and so on, and you can. I know Dizzy Dean, I believe it was Dizzy Dean, used to say, "Don't let our boy throw a curveball." I think he was 12 years old or something like that. Anyway, what you got any ideas on that?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is Major League Baseball has actually weighed in on it for youth baseball. They have a thing called Pitch Smart. and it talks about ages, and I really think that the longer a youth pitcher can hold off on throwing the curve, learn to locate, learn to change speeds, work on form, and don't worry about the strikeouts, don't worry about dazzling, work on a good solid foundation early. That'll pay off more. Then you can learn those pitches later. I think what they're saying too is that there needs to be downtime. You need to shut down at least 3 months out of the year from pitching, let your arm recover and heal. And I think some kids aren't ever doing that. And that's where some of these injuries are coming from. Well,
you mentioned location and being able to throw that ball where you want it. If you're a pitcher, that is so important. And I share your enthusiasm for Greg Maddux. I admired that guy because he actually pitched with the Cubs and the Braves, and he was pretty effective in both places. But he didn't throw it all that hard, but the location was everything with him. And he was tough. He was tough.
He could throw the same pitch, and one time it would break to the outside of a right-handed hitter, and the next time it would break to the inside of a right-handed hitter. It was just amazing how he could control the ball to do exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's another thing that is amazing and amusing in a way to me. The Braves were, they were awesome in the 90s, especially. When you had Maddux and Glavine and Smoltz, and then what was Avery?
Steve Avery was the fourth starter for a lot of those years.
For a little while, right? Yeah, and they won nearly every year, but they only won the World Series one time.
That's right.
Not why.
Well, I think I think talent and hard work gets you a long way, but you got to have a little luck in there, and sometimes the ball just drops in the wrong places. You get a little blooper or something like that can change the whole trajectory of it, and you just got to have some good luck to win a championship, and it just didn't always fall for the Braves.
Yeah, well, first time I ever heard of the Braves was 1948. They were in Boston, and they played. That's when I was 8 years old, and the Cleveland Indians and Boston Braves played in the World Series, and that year. For the Braves, they had Warren Spahn and Johnny Sain, and it was Spahn and Sain and Pray for Rain. I know you've heard that.
Yes, absolutely.
and for Cleveland, they had Lou Boudreau, who was a playing manager. That's something else you hardly hear about anymore. I was thinking about some of the things we might talk about, and I was trying to think how many playing managers that I can even remember. And the only two that come to mind right off is Lou Boudreau and Pete Rose.
Pete Rose, yeah.
And I'm sure there's been another one or two, but I don't know who they are.
I'll tell you an interesting story. I was thinking about that too, Coleman. You remember in the 80s, the Nashville Sounds became an affiliate for the Cincinnati Reds.
I remember.
And that was when Pete Rose was doing the player-manager thing. And I went and saw them in an exhibition game when the Reds came and played at Greer Stadium with the Sounds. And as part of that, they had a baseball card show at Opryland Hotel, and you could get autographs of some of the guys. And I had a baseball that I got Pete Rose's autograph on, Johnny Bench's autograph on, Dave Concepcion's autograph on, and Eric Davis's autograph on that year. And that was a heck of a baseball. I called that I'll tell you a funny story if we have time.
We got 3 minutes.
Okay, well, this will be quick. But I called that my Hall of Fame baseball because I thought all four of those guys had a shot at the Hall of Fame at that point. And so I was only going to get Hall of Fame players on it. And so later that year, I went down to Atlanta and I took that baseball because the Braves had picked up a free agent from the Cardinals, Bruce Sutter, the closer who ended up being in the Hall of Fame, when you had a shot to be in the Hall of Fame, and I wanted his autograph. And I went down to the bullpen, and everybody had those big, long beards on in that time. And I saw somebody with a beard autograph, and then I saw somebody else's autograph, and it had B, scribble, 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 S, scribble, scribble, scribble. And so I thought, that's Bruce Sutter. I'm going to go get his autograph. And I got the ball signed, and it ended up being a rookie bullpen coach by the name of Brian Snitker. Now, that name may sound familiar to you because he's the current manager of the Atlanta Braves.
Oh.
But in the mid-'80s, he was a rookie bullpen manager, never made it out of the minor leagues, was just starting to coach. And so I got Brian Snitker's autograph, and I thought, well, that's a waste of my ball now. But you know what? He's since won 6 division titles with the Braves and a World Series with the Braves, and who knows, maybe he ends up in the Hall of Fame.
How about that? That's a great story. Well, we've Not a whole lot we can start again here, but it's good to talk a little baseball. And, of course, it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out here and who makes the playoffs. And there's 3 rounds before the World Series. And, of course, the World Series is the only one that will involve one from each league. The rest of it is interleague. But it's something. It's really a goal just to be able to make the playoffs anymore. And a lot of interest as to who's going to be there. I think they've got it set up pretty well where you don't have to have a playoff game now. If you have won the series with that team, then you go and they stay home. That kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a best 2 out of 3 in the first round, and then it goes into the divisional and championship.
So we'll wait and see. And in the meantime, Tyler, back to you. We wish you well. Thanks for being with us today, and of course we hope you'll do well as a Lebanon High baseball player. A little activity here this fall, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. And Ryan, I've sure enjoyed this. We'll get you back out here and talk about cast iron skillets one of these days. But at least you've got something to do on the side while you get away from worrying about other problems being a minister, I guess.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Coleman.
That is part 1 of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it right here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup, they'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $59.95. Up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's cranking up already here on 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. It's finally starting to get a little bit busier through Hermitage, Donaldson, westbound on I-40 as you work your way past Donaldson Pike. A little bit of radar earlier out on 24 eastbound there around New Salem Pike there in Rutherford County, so watch your speed. Princess Hot Chicken's going to be on display at the fair. Go by and see them, especially this weekend. Check out the website, order online, also at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at myLebanonTNDentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
We'll have partly cloudy skies today with a chance of showers. Highs will be in the upper 80s. Mostly cloudy for tonight. Lows in the upper 50s. And sunny and much less humid on Saturday. Highs in the upper 70s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company here on a Friday. I have to be reminded by Medina that the on-air light's on and it interrupts the story I'm telling, but that's okay. C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, Miss Medina, Miss Judy, they're with us this morning. And of course, located at 1330 West Main in Lebanon. Great people, great service. And I think one of the most important things, they're people you can trust. Good morning, Miss Judy.
Good morning.
And Miss Medina, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Coleman.
Right. Well, you've gotten over the fair and you're back to normal now, I guess, after a week.
What's normal? We won't ever be normal.
Well, get us started anyway.
Well, yes, the fair is over, and we're still recuperating a little bit, and still getting some calls from some people that visited us at the fair that wanted to talk about selling or listing their home. And yesterday, the winners came to pick up their bicycles, the little boy and little girl. They were just super darling. The little girl was just like, thank you so much. And she was beautiful. And then the lady came to pick up her $500, and And then the lady came for the Granville package. So we got pictures of them, so you'll be seeing those in the paper in the next few weeks. But everybody was very thankful, and we just enjoyed meeting them and seeing the stories of when they signed up. And the boy that won the bicycle, his little brother signed up too, and he came, and he said, I didn't win. And I said, I know, but you get to have your little brother's bike later. So, because, we had some guy that came in the cabin, and I forgot his name, but he won the bicycle when he was 8 or 9 years old, and he's in his late 20s now. And he walked up and he said, I won the bicycle so many years ago. And I'm like, okay. So I thought that was pretty neat. And his son signed up for it too. But we had a good time with them. But we're glad that they signed up and won, and everybody got their prizes yesterday.
Well, it's really nice, and it's a nice promotion for you. It gets a little attention in your direction, which is good. But how happy you make those people?
Well, we enjoy seeing that, especially the kids with the bicycles, that they enjoy. And both of them live out in the country, so it was going to be good. They could ride the roads and enjoy that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have one that's the first bicycle they ever had, so that makes us feel really good. But anyway, I was going to remind everybody about the coat drive that Chick-fil-A and Emmanuel Baptist Church is partnering together to give away coats. If you got any children's coats, adult coats, men's, women's, any sizes, just drop them off at the Salt and Light House on Wildwood Avenue by the church. And you get, for every 3 coats, you get a free Chick-fil-A sandwich coupon. So be bringing those, and we want to get that. And in October, they'll be distributing them out all over Wilson County. So we want to do that.
That's nice of Chick-fil-A.
They partnered with our church, and it's called Warm Up Wilson County. So we'll be donating those to everybody in Wilson County that needs a coat.
And maybe they'll get a few new customers as well.
That might be, but they were gracious enough to do that for us.
Great.
And I was going to just kind of lead into one of the listings that we just listed yesterday. If you've got a set of parents or a child or a kid that's married and want to come back home and live with you, a lot of people have to move back now, and the prices, some people can't afford to get the house yet, so some of the family has to move in together. So we've got a house that is the great mother-in-law extra set of parents' house in the basement. It's a full living quarters in the basement. It's the bedrooms and the bath and the kitchen in the basement. Drive right in, no steps. And then the steps up to the main floor has got one of those chairlifts on it already. And it's got a handicapped bathroom. It's all set up for if you've got elderly parents that need to move in with you. It's the best house we've had that's a complete setup before. And the top floor is got 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and it's immaculate. In fact, Mike built it, I forgot what year, but in 2016 or so.
It was longer than that.
Okay, well, he built that, and it's a great home, and it has 11 acres with it. And it's got a barn with electricity and a chicken coop. So if you want a farm and live out in the country and have your whole family living together, it's the perfect house. And I'll let Medina tell the rest of it.
Is there any more?
Yeah, she about covered it all. It's minutes from the boat dock. It's minutes from the lake. It's a wonderful, well-maintained, immaculate house that I want to think that Mike built that back in 1998. Is what I'm thinking. And then we went in there and finished out the full basement back in 15, 14, somewhere around in there. And it's a wonderful house. It's all one level of course, on the main level. There's no steps except going down to the basement. And you have a chairlift going down to the basement. But the primary suite on the main level is completely wheelchair accessible. And if you've ever seen a wheelchair accessible roll-in shower, this is it. There's no doors anywhere, and it's just the perfect setup. And so if you're looking for something like that, and you can have your in-laws in the basement, teenage family, your kids that come back home. It's got 2 bedrooms and a full bath, living quarters. It's so big downstairs you can make it 2 living room and a study, or living room and something else with a kitchenette downstairs. And it's got a 3-car garage plus 11 acres. So the house sits on 5 acres, and then they have an additional 5 acres that's selling with the house. So it's on Coast Ferry. It's past where the Academy Road and Coast Ferry splits. You keep going on Coast Ferry. So give us a call. You'll see that one on the MLS today. It's listed at 1.1. So give us a call on that one. If you're looking for closer to be into town, we have another one at 218 Hickory Point. It's in Hickory Knolls subdivision across from Hillview Farms off of Hickory Ridge Road. So give us a call on that one. It's listed at $494, and it's a little bit over. It's almost 2,100 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, and it has a bonus room upstairs with over a 2-car garage. That's immaculate. It has a deck on the back, and the tree line is in the back where nobody will build behind you. They can't build behind you, but all you see is trees. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing there. And then if you're looking for a condo to be in the Five Oaks, Villages of Five Oaks, we have a condo there. We're going to be able to have an open house Sunday from 2 to 4. And it is 162 Village Circle, and it's listed at 509. So give us a call there. That is 3 bedrooms and 2 full baths. So give us a call there with the primaries on the bottom floor. And then if you're wanting to be out further down Coast Ferry, down Cairo Bend, at the summit at Harbor Point, give us a call at 417 Zephyr Cove. Beautiful home. It has been well maintained. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, extra large bonus room because you have an extra large 2-car garage.
Okay.
And it's fenced in backyard, and it's 564.9. So give us a call there. If you're looking for any type of land, real estate, house, mobile home, condo, you give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you with whatever, list it or sell it.
615-443-3130.
That's it.
And somebody will answer that phone. You guarantee it.
Always. Always. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, it sounds like things are back to normal as normal can be for y'all. It just it depends on your definition, I guess. But anyway, good to have you with us today. And remember.
Just remember, don't make a move without us.
See you next Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're 20 minutes before the hour, and Jeff Luttrell, the Director of Schools for Wilson County, is with us this morning. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
I hope you heard a little bit of the baseball talk this morning.
I did.
I was thinking of you as Ryan Bennett and I were talking there that you ought to have got here early and joined in on us because you used to pitch at Cumberland and in high school before that, I think. And did you play Babe Ruth in Little League Baseball?
I did. I grew up in a little league, a small town, and there was 4 teams, and my coach that I played for from the time I was 10 to 12, coached, I think, 30-plus years in that league.
Wow.
And he was the Pirates, and so I grew up for a little while liking the Pirates, of course. But I played Little League, and then we had Babe Ruth. And then, of course,
something Ryan said a minute ago, and he was talking about his son, Tyler, pitching some, but it doesn't matter how hard. Nobody cares how hard you throw ball for. I never heard that before.
I had not either, and I heard that on the way in, and that's a pretty good baseball statement.
Right. Well, let's get to the school situation. When was your meeting?
We met Wednesday. Of course, regular meeting would have been Monday.
And that was Labor Day.
And that was Labor Day, right. So we moved it to Wednesday. And
we did
Wednesday
you met,
night.
But I couldn't remember whether it was Tuesday or when. But Wednesday night, so what we're saying this morning's not too old. You're here to talk about that. Maybe it wouldn't have made much sense to brought you in here Tuesday. But here today to talk about the Wednesday night meeting and other things that are going on. Anything big coming out of the meeting?
Well, of course, it was our first meeting for 2 of our newly elected board members, Mr. Holman and Mr. Self, and then we had 2 returning members that had won their reelection. So it was the first time really to set that board. We'd sworn them in a couple of weeks ago, and then they took office on September the 1. So the main order of business was establishing that board for the year and all the annual things that take place. And Jamie Farrell was elected chair again. I think this will be her 3rd term as the chair. And Melissa Lynn was chosen to be the vice chair of the board. And then, of course, they set their committees that they have to set. So that was probably the biggest thing is getting that all taken care of and jumping right in and getting ready to work.
Well, I have noticed a little bit on social media. Somebody is talking about no buses coming by their house, and I guess there's somewhat of a problem there. If you want to talk about that, and we'll go to a break. But
we're still continuing to have bus issues, and it's a nationwide issue, and we're not alone or singled out in having to deal with this. We currently have 156 drivers running over 440 routes a day. And, when I came into this position, we had some issues then. And what kind of been the norm, if you couldn't provide a driver or sub-driver, you down the route. And this community had kind of gotten used to that. Went back and pulled some data 3 years ago. In the month of August, we downed over 300 routes. Today, we've downed 20 routes, a little over 20. So, and we've made some changes in zoning, and we've changed some start times so our drivers they're driving double routes for two schools. And Mr. Hardaway's working hard. We're better shape than we've been. It is a terrible inconvenience when that bus doesn't show up, or we have to down a route.
Is the whole problem just a shortage of bus drivers?
It is. We've looked at a lot of things, and Mr. Hardaway stays up on, and my team's always looking at what other people are doing. But it comes down to a point you got to have enough drivers to run those routes, and we're making progress, and got some more in training. So we think that we've got a chance to continue to get better, and that's our goal.
All right, Jeff Luttrell, Director of Schools, is my guest. It's time for us to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Not too bad right now as far as serious accidents. We've had to deal with some radar out in parts of Rutherford County this morning. A little bit earlier there on 24 around New Salem Pike. Traffic's on the increase at times now through Antioch. On 24 westbound here at Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway. Watch for radar. I-40 out through parts of Wilson and Smith County this morning. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, or that roof's leaking, just call Independent Roofing Specialists. These guys are the best here in Middle Tennessee. Check out irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Save time and money with a business account from Wilson Bank and Trust. Our great account benefits help you grow your business with online and mobile banking. No monthly fee for bill pay and low monthly balance requirements. You'll enjoy easier record keeping and tax reporting when you open a business account to keep your business expense separate from personal too. A business account helps preserve your personal liability protections from business obligations. Wilson Bank and Trust is here to get you there. Visit us at any of our 30 office locations across Tennessee or go online at wilsonbank.com. Member FDIC.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane and Crowell. At the offices of Kane and Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane and Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Late. We continue here on this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. And Jeff Luttrell is my guest. We explained that the board meeting school board meeting was Wednesday night, and so he's here this morning. We've talked about that. The two people who were, you got two new school board members. One replaced Larry Tomlinson, and then we had a contest, and the incumbent lost, and so those two, and then two others who were reelected, I believe. So there were four up for election, and that all they're all ready to go, and they have the same school board chairman that we had before. So as far as here the week after Labor Day, we we talked about the bus driver problem, but other than that, things falling into place pretty well, and most vacancies taken care of and all that.
Yeah, they really are. We still have some vacancies looking for special ed teachers, and a couple areas. Math is an area, but total, we're pushing over 1,400 certified staff, and we're down to under 50 openings, and that's pretty good. So we're much better shape there, and we've got excellent administrators, we've got excellent teachers, and so we're off to a great start. Schools and visiting the schools, they look great. And the first day of school, I was in several schools that day, and one of the things I noticed that teachers we're actually starting lessons and teaching and learning on the first day. So, our schools look good. Still do have some openings, and we're continuing to get applications, and that's something that's changed in the last 4 or 5 years. Used to, by Labor Day, you have what you have, but we're seeing more movement in this profession, and that's something that is kind of odd. But I know this week there was a math teacher that applied, and I think everybody wanted to interview, and so I think that it's going to continue to get better. Our biggest challenge is the growth. We're right now we're at 20,740 students. We ended the year at 20,400, so we're going to push up 300 new students from what we ended the year, and that kind of growth.
Well, I'm thinking this time next year you're probably looking at least 21,000.
Yeah. And with that, when you start increments of 400 and 500 students at a time, that's new positions, that's new staffing, and it's just it's a good problem to have. I'd much rather be growing than declining, but that is a part of what we deal with every day.
Do you have occasionally somebody move in here from maybe another state, another location, who is a teacher wanting a job?
We do. We're getting a lot of that, and that's something the state is working through, and with licensure, and sometimes there's issues, and really shouldn't be. Years ago, you had states that had agreements that their license automatic transfer, and there's still some of that, but the licensure thing, and our state is working on it. I know Mr. Pody is doing some work on that with special education, I think, and trying to make it easier for these teachers to come in and be able to get a Tennessee license. And there is some permits and things, but sometimes that's a process that takes days to get them in the classroom. But yes, we are, of course, as more and more people move here, you're getting teachers that come in and want to work for us, and we're glad to have them.
Well, we've got, one new school that's about to be built. Maybe you've, I can't keep up with it. I mean,
well, we've got Legardo Elementary, of course, is in the building phase.
All right.
It's out of the ground. If you go by there, you're going to see, you can tell it's a school. Funding has been approved for Central Pike, new elementary school. And we've got that contract that came in this week. We'll be taking that to board to approve that. Once that starts, hopefully here this fall, we'll get another one out of the ground, have a ground breaking ceremony, and start that one. So, and that'll be, I'm starting my 4th year as director, and that'll be 4 schools. And that's quite a pace of building. So our county commission has stepped up in doing what we need to do, and that's build schools. And we're going to be in the school building business for a while, looks like.
What about naming those schools? That's something. I mean, we've when there's just one high school in Lebanon. I mean, you figure you're going to call it Lebanon High School, maybe, and that sort of thing. And Mount Juliet, of course, we got Green Hills. What's the new school at Legardo going to be?
It was named Legardo Elementary, and there's a process going on right now. We have a board policy on naming of facilities, and so we set a committee. It's made up of community members and board members in that area. And right now, they met last week for the Central Pike Elementary. They had their first meeting, and they've got another one coming up 1st of October. So we set a committee and they represent their community, and it's from that community or area, and then they will bring a recommendation to me, and I'll take it to the board as their recommendation, and the board will usually approve the name is chosen, and that's an interesting process, sitting in on that meeting of the night and just hearing people talk. They know the history of that community, and it gets really interesting. It's a good thing.
Well, you can name a school for where it's located, and a lot are that, as I've already alluded to. But then sometimes we name schools for people who've been outstanding educators, maybe.
That is in the policy is one of the criteria that you that committee can choose. So yeah, and it's just an interesting process because a name does mean something, and then to see the back work of how it gets to that name, that's interesting.
Well, the football season, of course, is off and underway, and I did notice that if you consider Wilson Central to the West all won and the East all lost, but it's going to vary from week to week, of course, but football is off and underway, and
it is. This will be the third week, and kind of rule of thumb, after the third week of football, you usually start seeing your temperatures change and your weather change, and you start into fall. But it's hard to believe they're going to Friday tonight will be the third game of a 10-game season, I guess, and so it's quickly clipping away.
Well, we of course had Monday off for Labor Day, but I guess the fall break will be the next thing. When is that?
I think it's second week in October. We start that. Ours is basically a week, a few days, and by that time there'll be a lot of people looking forward to a break in a few days, and so that's good time. That's something that's unique to our district. That's another thing. Working on with calendar committee, they've met and will be making recommendations hopefully in October for the next cycle of our school calendar, and that always draws a lot of interest. And this county, people love their fall break and love their spring break because it's a time for them to spend with their family.
Is this 1 week in October?
It's a week and a few days. Right. Is the way we kind of made that move.
Okay, and
a couple years ago. Thanksgiving that has been
a whole week.
We have been taking that whole week off, and that was a shift several years ago, but a lot of families really like that, especially as we're seeing this population surge and people moving from out of state. There's a lot of movement during that week, and that seems to be pretty popular.
Well, I'm thinking maybe you've got the fall down about like it ought to be now.
Yeah.
And most people seem to be happy with this.
They do, yes, they do.
Maybe we can kind of keep that settled. And what is there, 1 week in the spring then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's but we have a shorter summer, so I think back when I was in school, and we rarely got we didn't start till nearly Labor Day, maybe the last week of August or something, and we were out by the end of May. But there was not much except for 2 weeks at Christmas. Right. That was just about it.
That's right.
And maybe a Friday off when there was a teachers' meeting in Nashville or something.
That's right.
Things have changed.
They have changed.
But it's probably for the good, and a little break there. Teachers appreciate that probably as much as the students do.
They do, and part of that fall break will be some teacher training opportunities, and that's always important. As we still continue to strive to remain where we're at and continue to improve our rankings. That's something that's you think back over my career. When I started teaching, there was no rankings. You just went and taught your kids, and now as more and more things have happened, this is really a competition. It's a ranking system, and so these days during the year to provide PD, to bring the latest strategies to our teacher, to meet with them and discuss strategies that they want to talk about, it is very, very important in what we're trying to do in teaching and learning. And so that the calendar fits that.
Got about 3 minutes here. I want to bring up something else. I don't even like to think about this and don't like to have to mention it, but we had another school shooting this week in Georgia, I believe it was. I think 4 people that were killed. 2 students, 2 teachers, I believe, and best I remember. And then actually, a lot of times the perpetrator is shot in the process, maybe killed. A lot of times, this one just caught and arrested, and you just. I'm saying, why you bring a gun in here and start shooting people? It's just, I know this is something you're concerned about every day. Every
day.
Teacher's got to have this somewhere in the back of their mind, and all of this. I remember in this particular instant, they got word somewhere, and I remember this particular teacher locked the door and turned the lights out, and I guess that's about the best you can do in a situation like that. But you no doubt have directives going out. You think about this, try to be prepared for it.
Oh yeah, and it is sad. We had a lockdown situation 2 weeks ago in Watertown where we had to lock down 3 schools because the call came in, and it turned out being a swatting call that they did 3 schools. There's a lot of factors, but I often say that our schools are just a reflection of our society. Everything in our society we're going to deal with in schools. It's really sad that we've gotten a point in this country where this has to be a topic that we have to deal with on a daily basis. But we are vigilant, and
we're in pretty good shape, aren't we? I mean, with a school resource officer.
Oh, absolutely. That's where we have a resource officer in every building, and then we've taken other safety measures. The film is still ongoing, that process to harden our doors and our windows of our schools. And so, and then just 2 weeks ago, we got our dogs in place with SRO. So we do have weapon detecting dogs that will be working our campuses. And so, we're doing everything we can. But, my thoughts and prayers go to that community in Georgia, those teachers, administrators. That happens, and nobody ever gets over that.
It's just so sad and so useless. So,
and we've got to start looking at what are these factors, what's going on.
Yeah.
This has got some way. This has got to be addressed on a national level and in our communities, and it's just a trend that the headlines this week is we're starting the school year, and here we have this happen. It's just terrible.
Well, hate to end on that note, but our time is up. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
All right. Jeff Luttrell, Director of Schools for Wilson County, and that's it for Friday. Have a nice weekend. Till Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.